Guys, I'm here with Cal Davidson, Cake Equity. I don't know if Cake really needs an intro, but maybe for the people that may not know, you want to give us a holler about what you guys do?
Yeah, we help founders navigate everything to do with startup equity. So, from doing your first pre-seed funding round to scaling through multiple funding rounds to giving your team equity incentives and everything, our platform streamlines all that stuff. So, software that helps you navigate through that, but also make smart decisions about everything. Like, so how much equity do I give people? Well, we've got a benchmarking tool in there that can help you navigate through that. You're working out how equity to give away to investors as you go through funding rounds. We've got modeling tools and everything. So really helping make the smart decisions about your equity and then also streamline that whole process so you can spend more time building an awesome startup.
Yeah, it seems like it is the distribution game, right? Who to go to where.
Yeah.
I saw your video yesterday. You were talking to Kim Hansen just about what's happening with AI coming into companies and companies building with AI. What's your take, or what are you seeing at the moment?
I mean, we're seeing a massive impact in terms of funding flows. The latest data out of North America in terms of the amount of funding that's going into AI native startup businesses just continues to increase. So both in terms of volumes, I think in the first half in North America was something like 74% of the total volume went into AI native startups. Now a lot of that went into later stage deals like your open AI and everything, so big later stage deals. But even if you look at the number of deals, like over a third of them, something like 35% of all funding deals done in the first half in North America went into AI native businesses. So it could be, it could be in the infrastructure stack. It could be like an LLM type business, or it could be building on top of that, right? But that's a big chunk of funding, so it's having a big impact in terms of funding flows, definitely. And then the other thing we're seeing is talent. So you've seen headlines around Meta throwing out $100 million, incentives to people to get in top AI talent. Now, that's the top, 0.01% or whatever. But regardless, across the broader market, there is, AI is relatively new, so people are actually looking to get people with those skill sets to come in and help build that capability in their business. So you are seeing, even just at an engineering level, like a machine learning engineering role versus a normal software engineering role is getting like a 20% plus premium. So we're seeing it play out with some of that stuff as well, right? So yeah.
And that's making, would you say from your perspective, cap tables, investments, and people getting equity, like that's becoming preferred talent as AI is increasing?
I think if you want to get the right talent, you definitely need to make sure that not only you've got a good culture and your people are bought into what you're doing, but they need to be acting as mini founders and they need to have ownership. So you need to actually have the equity incentive piece right. You need to be thinking about, traditionally equity grants have been, typically 4-year time-based vesting with a 12-month cliff. Maybe I want to be a little bit more flexible. If I've got, if you're a top AI person that I want to bring in, do I move away from the 1-year cliff, or do I give you a little bit more? So just being more innovative and flexible with that sort of stuff. And then even with the vesting side, like, I mentioned the $100 million thing with, Facebook. Well, there's a whole lot of caveats around that. That's not just time-based vesting. So, but there's nothing stopping you doing the same as a founder in a smaller, earlier stage startup, where maybe, I give you a little bit more equity, but there are actually some milestones. It doesn't just automatically vest. You need to hit these hurdles in order to unlock additional tranches of equity incentive.
Yeah, and like Kim was talking about in the post that you mentioned, that it's a war for talent right now, right? People with like skills are going to be required. So how do we leverage equity effectively to maintain them?
Yeah, and I think, my thesis on, and we're seeing it in our business already, is like what AI enables you to do as an individual, it can scale your impact, right? So, like if you have people who are using those tools effectively, regardless of whether they're in an engineering role or whether they're in partnerships community, which is where I play, if you're leveraging that and you're actually having an outsized impact, then they're the people you want, and you want to be rewarding them appropriately, right? So yeah.
For sure. And last of all, what brings you to Something Tech? What is it about this place that I guess you love or you're excited to see here and share?
I mean, we're in Southeast Queensland neighbourhood. You know, we started just down the road in your neck of the woods. So we're very passionate about Southeast Queensland as an innovation hub. We've been involved in Something Tech for I don't know how many years, 4 or 5 years now.
Cake sponsors after parties.
Yeah. We love the work that Pauline, ACS and the team do in terms of organising this couple of days. And look, we want to do as much as we can to support it. And it's incredible just to see the ecosystem growth here in Southeast Queensland. You know, the Queensland government stepped up and actually are running good programs to attract investment up here. You know, we're seeing people like in the Gold Coast area turning into a real innovation hub as well. So, you know, like to me, it's connecting with a bunch of people, but it's also actually how do we contribute to the ongoing growth in this Southeast Queensland neighbourhood, you know? So, yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Cal. Appreciate you chatting, mate.
Good
Thank you.
Thanks.